to walk away. You might have to say 1 second just so you can grasp your thoughts, so you don't vocalize your irritation and they hear your message over your emotions. Because that works even in this realm too. Knowing to deliver the message over the emotions, not saying things that are unnecessary. Because a moment in the night while they're completing homework or completing an assignment can be a lifetime experience for them. And so mommy or daddy called me dummy or stupid or retarded or idiot or all types of harsh names that I heard. You need to be mindful of what you say to your kid. You're just like your mother. You're just like your father. Come on now. Context is everything. So there's no way in the heat of your frustration or anger you can convert that statement to be positive. They're accepting it just as you're delivering it. And when discussing this, you might say to yourself or look at your significant other and say, they went through that in their childhood, or you went through that in your childhood, and that's all you know. And just with that statement, just because that's all you know, that don't mean you can stop growing as an individual. It might be all you know, but it's not all that you can learn. You can learn a new way. You can choose to do it another way. You might say to yourself, well, it delivered some positive results in my childhood. However, on a long scale, how effective was it? And was it more damaging? And if it was, choose a more effective way that's beneficial for your child. Hurt people, yes. But can a hurt person educate themselves to respond differently? Sure. You get hurt, you get disappointed, you get bruised. That don't mean you get up and you say the world has to pay, and so you birth a child into this world and you think that they have to pay because you had to pay. No. This is the cost. You have to take the initiative, even if you're not accustomed to being a affirming person and giving affirmation. You have to take the initiative because you're mindful of who you have created and what they need. And they need you. They're trying to define the world. From as little as kindergarten to as old as college level. They're trying to define the world. And so you need to not just do that for educational purposes, but just for identity purposes. And then affirmation builds a structure with them that they call usual versus unusual. And so if they used to, as a man, or let me correct myself, not as a man, as a young man, as a little boy, hearing mommy say affirming words, they don't look for the exterior world outside of their house to say affirming words. And they don't walk around in need. My mom, my guardian, already does that, already plays their part in this realm. My dad already plays his part in this realm. So I'm not too shifty or needy or looking for the opposite sex to play their part. And that helps them to stay focused. It's like If they're fed emotionally and mentally at home, they don't walk around looking neglected and malnutrition in the world. And when you look at it that way, you take that extra effort, even if it's not like you or natural to you. You take the extra effort because you know the cost is high. If you don't take the extra effort, the world will take the extra effort and you will be paying for the cost on the flip side, which is in the negative. And so affirmation is key. Affirming who they are, giving them affection, tending to them from a male and a female perspective. You need to, dear mommy, dear daddy, do these things. They need to hear it. Some more than others. Some less than others. However, don't take away the fact that they need it. Because they'll be walking around thirsty in the world. And things will appear to quench their thirst, but it'll just be a mirage. Because it's not authentic. It's not heartfelt. It has mixed motives behind it. It doesn't have their best interests in mind. No good intentions. And when you look at it that way, you take the extra initiative. So affirmation is key for this school year. Dear mommy, dear daddy. The second thing I want to talk about is touch. Touch can be discussed in so many different ways. One of the main ways I want to talk about touch is you showing and helping them to identify with what positive, what good touch is, what is needed. To a man, to a son, he might need a hug here and there. He might need a firm handshake. He might need his shoulder secured here and there, his back patted on to let him know that you appreciate him, he exists. You're not just standing over him, looking for him to do right, waiting for him to produce results. You're also coming along to him to say, I'm coming in a loving way too. So grabbing his shoulder while he's at the computer and just affirming that you exist and you're a part of his world is needed. Sitting on a couch and maybe putting your arm on the back of the couch, and they notice that closeness is there. So man to man, you're showing him what healthy, unperverted connections is. And they understand that, and it helps them to process the world after that. Because then they don't walk around thirsty and needy. And people are not able to pervert what is natural and what is needed just as human contact. Don't you know a set of twins could be born into this world and one ill, and just through human touch of the healthy twin wrapping his arm around the unhealthy twin on a regular basis can bring him to a healthy state? Just looking at that alone, the power of touch is necessary. Then, when it comes to touch, you need to have conversations on what unhealthy touch is. Whereas though an adult is not perverting, interactions with them. You need to help them to identify what healthy boundaries is. Some people don't even know what the word boundary is and how to use it when it comes to socially relating to others. You need to be that voice in your child's ear to help them identify what boundaries is. Even at a kindergarten level, you might not coin it as boundaries. You might coin it as personal space. So when someone invades their personal space, they know, okay, you're in violation. Let me step back. Or this is not supposed to happen. Let me get help or warnings. Or on the college level, seek officials. Or call someone. Or make sure you stay in group settings. You need to have those conversations. And then also when it comes to touch, you need to also have a conversation from the dating realm. From the dating realm. Now, it's to be debated what is considered a healthy age for a teenager to start dating and considering the opposite sex as someone romantically involved in their life, or they are romantically involved in their life. At times I'm not the best at wording things, but you get my message. And even with the debate, there's still certain levels where you say, now we can all agree that that's too young. So on a kindergarten level, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, you should not be walking around saying, I need a boyfriend, or this my boyfriend, or I gotta hang out with this guy, or I spend time with this guy, or letting them be in close quarters in a room, or letting them go spend time over their friend's house, and then come to find out they got a brother and they spending time more with the brother than the friend that they over the house with. You need to be involved. Because like I said, it's a cost you pay when you take the passive response too. So if you don't intimately find out all the intricate details when they go over people's houses, you're just as responsible of them getting involved in foolery as they are. Because you have that extra calling to do that. Because they're yours. They're your child. And their future is just as important as your future. So you need to set those standards. No, certain things. You shouldn't want to kiss a girl. You shouldn't want to kiss a guy when you're a certain age. You should be focused on school. You should be focused on sleep. You should be focused on chores. You should be focused on understanding the world. Yes, urges come up. Yet you have to be the person to help them manage those urges. And say, okay, it's normal for you to have and want human affection. But it's a time and a place. Certain things should not go on. And you set that standard. However you said it in a way that's beneficial for them. It is a certain time that a girl should be home in the house. It is a certain time a boy should be in the house. Because when left alone, no matter what the sex is, after a certain time, alert senses drop and wandering senses dominate, and your child ends up getting into foolery. And you can't get married